Okay, now for number 4 in our list of the top 10 issues of the Christian faith. With this issue, we confront what some call the embarrassment of miracles. Clearly within Christianity, there's a claim that miracles happen, or at least have happened. Indeed, some people seem to see miracles all around. But some say, how can someone living now in the 21st century believe this? How can an educated person believe that miracles could happen? The clear implication in that version of the issue is that those who believe in miracles are uneducated or at least not using their heads. Besides, we know that science has provided answers for all of those supposed miracles of the past, and in addition, they don't seem to be happening too much these days anyway, further contributing to their case that they probably never happened in the past either. Okay, well, let's think about this. The problem has been around for quite a while, especially since the dawn of enlightenment and with the advent of the scientific revolution and with increase in technology. Nowadays, we seem to be able to believe that if we can explain how something works, well, then that solves the problem. Things such as thunder and lightning, or floods and drought, disease and prosperity, all these were scary things that seemed to happen randomly. Add to that the yearning inside of us for peace and calm, and the urge to control our surroundings, and our ancestors did indeed ascribe these mysterious events to a mysterious divinity. And then they tried to figure out how to please that divinity. Well, now that we can predict the weather, and even the movements of the planets and stars, or discover the causes of and even the cures for diseases, and basically explain away all those things that for centuries seemingly had no explanation at all, it tends to put people's mind to rest with the belief that we have the knowledge covered and that there's no need for that mysterious divinity anymore. But is that true? But some of us still see miracles everywhere, still today. We hear stories of them in faraway lands. Some of us even know of people who claim to have seen or have been affected by miracles. So which is it? Are they possible? Are they real? Can one appreciate the advances of science and still believe in a divinity that can accomplish miracles? Or are the people who believe in the concept of miracles simply ignorant of the advances of science and philosophy that have taken us into a golden age of enlightenment? And what about these miraculous claims of Christianity? Some of the miracles claimed within Christian traditions seem a little far-fetched. Things like turning water into wine or walking on water seem maybe like parlor tricks, but the virgin birth or the resurrection of the dead? That sounds more like deception or maybe even mass hysteria. Because we know, of course, with the proof of science and the benefit of thousands of years of experience, that dead people do not live again, and a pregnant virgin is impossible. So what's going on with these claims? How do we reconcile the issue? Do these extraordinary claims demand extraordinary evidence? The Christian viewpoint seems to boil the question down to two answers, the first being philosophical and the second being practical. First, when one remembers that a Christian believes, with strong evidence and reason behind that belief, that a being created the universe and all that's within it, including its laws and its order, then that being is incredibly powerful, by definition more powerful than the universe that it created. That means to me that that being can do whatever it wants with the universe that it created. So, miracles are certainly possible, as long as we're considering that being that created it. And we believe that God created this universe because He chose to. He willed it into existence, and with His purpose and mind to do His satisfaction. It is His to do with as He pleases, and He has the power to do with it as He pleases, since He created it. No law of nature restricts His will, since it is subservient to His will. With these assumptions in place, there seems no philosophical reason to believe that God could not act in nature at any time and in any way that He chooses. So, with that in mind, the discussion really comes down to whether one believes that there is a God and what his nature is. Not really about the miracle, but whether God would choose to invade his creation to effect some outcome for his purposes. Is it proper to see a miracle as a violation of natural law? Sure, insofar as it can happen only by the one who wrote the laws, or in other words, by the one who has control of those laws. Is it expected that these events are few and far between? Yes, I think so. Now, what do I mean by that? This gets us to the second and the practical answer of miracles, what their purpose is and whether they can happen still today. In the Bible, we can see that most, some argue all, of the miracles in the Bible have to do with the revelation of God and his plan for his creation. What that means is that God uses miracles to confirm to us his nature, as well as answer the questions we may have about what we are to do about it, and how we fit in with his purposes. Think about that. From the creation out of nothing, to the virgin birth, to Jesus' displays of divinity, he is showing us that he is God and that he is in control. His resurrection and ascension continue the trend. It does seem that there is a specific purpose to miracles in the Bible. Do miracles happen still today? Well, to be honest, I'm not really sure. I've not seen one, but I am certain philosophically that God could of course do them today if he chose to. I do think, however, that if I do hear of one, I will analyze it to see if it fits within the previously established purpose of God revealing his nature or his intent to us. And finally, sometimes I do get overcome by what is sometimes called the miraculous mundane, such as how a baby can be formed in the womb, or how a gigantic tree can come up from a tiny seed, or even how a beautiful flower could grow from a heap of dung in the desert, and on and on. Far from being a God of the gaps concern, this is more of an admittance of the simple scientific predictions of what is set in motion cannot explain the whole cause and effect of these types of events. They are truly awe-inspiring. Like the poet Rich Mullins saying, "Everywhere I go, I see you."